In Tucson, Arizona, is charged with trying to poison her husband.
You can literally smell this. You can see it sudsed up.
The husband, an unidentified airman, spent weeks testing his coffee maker for chemicals. He then decided to set up a camera in the laundry room, another pointed at the kitchen, and a third above the coffee maker. The video captures Melody Feliciano Johnson pouring from a bleach container into a cup, walking the cup from the laundry room and pouring the contents into the coffee maker. Johnson is charged with domestic violence, attempted first-degree homicide, aggravated assault, and adding poison to food or drink. In police reports, the airman says she did it to collect his death benefits. She claims he sexually assaulted her when they lived.
Welcome back, guys. I trust you've been staying safe. Now, over the years, it seems the institution of marriage seems to be losing its essence. In the past, the type of reverence, respect, loyalty, and even love that the institution of marriage enjoyed and exuded seems to be deteriorating. And now, having to expect these things from any marriage or from most marriages begins to feel like something of a fantasy on the part of the person who is looking forward to getting these things from any marriage. And I think that is not how it's supposed to be. Today's true crime story epitomizes these things that I'm talking about, because it looks at how a wife, a married wife or a wedded wife, methodologically and systematically took steps to allegedly end her husband by resorting to adding bleach to his coffee on a daily basis. Yeah, you heard me right. She did this on a daily basis, consistently chipping off his life gradually, and gradually. A dose of coffee in the morning, a dose of coffee in the morning, all this while with a dose of bleach in it. Now, there's a silver lining to this case. Some way, somehow, this husband, who turns out to be a military man, also had a suspicion that, my coffee tastes funny. What is going on here? He brings it up and his wife is like, oh, honey, I don't really see anything wrong with this coffee. But I'm quick to mention, she doesn't drink the coffee. Now, this guy actually prepares his coffee overnight so that the moment he wakes up in the morning, he's good to go. And he being a military guy, I think this could be due to one of the various levels of discipline that he may have gotten, such that he doesn't waste time on things. So he has everything orderly put out and made just so his day is smooth and seamless. But little did he know that his coffee had a secret ingredient in it. And not only did it make the taste bad, but it also was gradually eating away his life. Now, he had his suspicions because I'm sure this is not the first coffee he had tasted in his life. He knows the regular taste of coffee, or he knows the taste of regular coffee. So when this tasted differently over a period, he decided to check some things out for himself. What did he do? So he installed CCTV cameras. He installed one at the laundry room. He installed one at the hallway leading from the laundry room to the kitchen. And he installed another one looking into the kitchen. Now, these cameras were also installed secretly, so his wife didn't know. And that is where he would eventually end up having the biggest shock of his life. I need to also mention at this point that this couple were not really also having a rosy marriage. Their marriage seemed to have fallen on the rocks, and there are even reports that they were preparing to get into a divorce process. So they were not really in rosy times. But despite that, I don't think that is grounds for anybody or any of them to decide that it's a justification for him or her to end the other. So this guy set up the CCTV cameras, and then he started watching and recording. And what he saw shook him to his core, because he saw his wife go to the laundry room, get a bleach bottle, pour some out into the coffee maker, bring it to the kitchen, and prepare his coffee for him, and then serve it out to him. Now, when he saw this, he was taken aback because, one of the lines in marital vows says that till death do us part. So it's actually expected that marriages will last until one of the spouses passes on. So it's expected the two shall become one, that sort of thing, where death is the only thing that can separate them. So death is more like something that will come from outside to take one of them away. So how do you think it feels when a spouse realizes that when his partner told him that I'll be with you through thick and thin, till death do us part, the death that his partner was talking about is the fact that that same partner would eventually take your life. That's the ultimate betrayal, because it's bad enough the marriage was heading towards a divorce, but for her to decide to do this, I think that it's below the belt. I don't know what her justification is, although she has come to say something after she got caught. I'll get to that point. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't justify anything, even if what she's saying is true. But when the man saw this, he started recording, keeping the evidence. He even came onto the scene as well, in her absence, to test the kettle for residual chemicals. And he showed this in the footage as well, with the test kits, showing that there are heavy chemicals in the coffee maker. He showed all this, and you could see he was building his case, because, and I understand him, in this day and time, in most jurisdictions, all a woman has to do is accuse a man, and a higher percentage of people almost always readily believes that what the woman has said against the man is likely to be true. So that's not to say there are not some men out there who are actually doing these bad things to women. Yeah, but there are also evidence to corroborate the fact that there are also some women out there taking advantage of that narrative to now perpetrate crimes against men and turn around and play victim to hide the crime. And you see the same thing playing out in this case. Now, this woman was none other than Melody Feliciano Johnson. Yeah, the case surprises me so much, I didn't even remember to mention her name. But that's the woman, Melody Feliciano Johnson. She has currently been arrested, and she's going to face trial, charged with domestic abuse and attempted murder in the first degree. Now, her husband took his time over weeks to gather this video evidence and then submitted it to the police for review, after which, eventually, Melody Feliciano Johnson was then arrested. Now, when she was arrested, she didn't deny. She actually rather said that the man assaulted her when they were outside of the country in Germany. Well, that hasn't been investigated or corroborated, but let's assume it's true. Even if it's true, that is not grounds for you to also decide to end his life. Two wrongs don't make a right. If he did that, even though you were not in the US, Germany, I know, has very strong laws. So you could have sought justice even whilst you were there and that happened. You don't keep it to yourself and decide that you are going to end his life. So with that, it makes that allegation or accusation suspect. I doubt it because of the circumstances under which she's now bringing it up. And also at a point where her husband is also accusing her of trying to do this to him because she wants to take his death benefits. Mind you, they are getting divorced. So if she could get a death benefit and she divorces after that, hey, she's riding off into the sunset. That makes more sense. But the fact that it makes more sense does not mean that is also true. I'm leaving it to the investigators to dig further and bring out what is and what isn't. And her husband is in the US Air Force. So definitely, when it comes to strategic preparation, being tactical, he knows how to do all these things and operate from the higher ground. So I'm not surprised he was able to get all this evidence against her, including the fact that he was even testing with chemical testing strips and documenting everything, But I think that it's so unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate that it should get to this point. And for Feliciano Melody Johnson, I think she should be ashamed of herself. I don't know what their domestic issues were, but you don't just decide to take someone's life because you have a problem with the person or because they did you wrong, even if they did. I think that the law should take its due course. That's not to say also that the accusations that Felicia or Feliciano Johnson is leveling against her husband should be ignored. I believe that this case might have other dependencies or may have started at a point and escalated to where we are. So if possible, they should look into all these accusations just so justice is served fully across all accusations. And if some of the accusations turn out to be false too, then definitely that in itself would also need some element of justice to be extended to it. But what do you think about this? Do you agree that over the years, marriage is losing its essence? Do you agree? Let me know in the comment section. Do you agree with people who are saying that it's no longer even necessary to get married because it's not worth it? So many cases have come up bordering on marriage. Some about incidents, crimes, murders happening within the marriage, either the husband towards the wife or the wife towards the husband, or side chicks towards the wife or the wife towards side chicks, or the husband towards side chicks, or the husband towards his wife's boyfriend or boyfriends towards married women. The equation suddenly has gotten so complicated, and I hope I'm exhausting it with all the examples I'm giving. But what do you think? Wherever you find yourself, are you seeing the same thing there? That the atmosphere, conversations from both sexes seem to suggest marriage is not really that important, or the standards of marriage in itself has also been lowered down, where people are more interested in the glitz and glamour that comes with the marriage occasion or ceremony, but not so much with the principles that are supposed to govern the marriage, where people have become so liberal, they don't understand why they need to let the principles dictate to them. Instead, they go into marriages doing whatever they want to do. And also the fact that most marriages don't seem to last and they head for divorce. Let me know how it's playing out at wherever you find yourself in the world. But hey, I'm in Ghana, West Africa, and in case you've never been here, don't worry. I have a second YouTube channel that seeks to showcase the best parts of my country, Ghana, and you can just go to the description. You'll see the link to that YouTube channel. It's called Welcome to Ghana. Just hit that link, you go there, subscribe, and you'll see many wonderful things about my country, Ghana. I'm waiting for updates on this case. As it stands now, Melody Feliciano Johnson has been processed. She's been indicted and processed. So we are waiting for the trial to begin. And I'm sure a lot more details are going to come out. As it stands now, it looks like the evidence is stacked against Feliciano Johnson. but I'm waiting to see what herself and her legal counsel can also pull up as a defense and maybe as a counter, and what they can also prove in court with regards to the accusations that she has leveled against her husband, who is yet to be named actually. As it stands now, it looks more like Melody Feliciano Johnson is the suspect and not a victim here. I don't know if that will turn, but the cases I'm seeing of late, I'm really proud of how thorough the legal system is, especially in such cases I have looked through in America, especially where now you don't have females successfully being able to pretend to be victims when they actually culprits. Looks more like the system is exposing such people, and objectivity is at its peak when it comes to these legal deliberations. And I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it spreading worldwide so everybody is held accountable and responsible for their actions irrespective of gender. I believe that's the best way to go in our efforts to respect human life and also ensure rule of law prevails at the end of the day. It's unfortunate, but that is where we are now, where Melody Feliciano Johnson, a wedded wife, thought it could be possible for her to end her husband by adding bleach, allegedly, to his coffee. We'll see how it goes. Until then, subscribe if you are yet to do so. You turn on the post notifications. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll catch you very soon. Keep an eye out and stay safe out there.